What's good, people? Morocco is an amazing country. It's one of the few places that I've been to where I felt like I was completely transported into another culture, into another place and time. It's just very incredible. The food is amazing, the people are warm, and it's interesting because they have a really great mix between Arab, African, and European cultures. The landscapes are just incredible. In this video, I'll give you my tips and help you plan your trip there. But first, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I make really cool travel guide and tips videos, so if you want to see more, hit the like and the subscribe button. My first tip is, don't make this a quick trip. Morocco is a huge country and all the cities are far apart, so you're gonna need to give yourself enough time to travel in between the cities. I would say 7 to 9 days is enough so that you can get a nice taste of what this country has to offer. But if you're just trying to visit one city like Marrakesh, I guess giving yourself 2 to 3 days is enough time. But again, you really don't want to rush because this place is just amazing and you really need to take this in and give yourself enough time to really appreciate where you are. My next tip is to hire a driver. You can obviously rent a car and do this trip yourself, but because these cities are far from each other, you're gonna be driving a lot, and this serves as a way for you to rest in between the cities because you're gonna be seeing a lot, you're gonna be walking a lot. It's just a good way to really gather yourself, and the driver will really help you and kind of serve as a tour guide because he'll take you to nice little small places that a lot of people don't know of in between cities. They also know where the good restaurants are, and it's a much better experience knowing that you're going to be taken care of. Another thing to consider, when I went, there were a lot of police stationed on the highways and they were pulling over a lot of cars. We got pulled over a few times, and obviously having a native person there that can speak the language is a much better way to navigate that situation than you being by yourself. Our driver Umbark was amazing. It was good to have someone with first-hand knowledge guiding us and telling us about this really incredible culture. I'll have a link to his information and website in the description. My next tip is to stay in a riad instead of a traditional hotel. You're in Morocco and you should immerse yourself in the culture, and there's no better way to do it than to wake up in a riad. Riads are traditional Moroccan homes that feature beautiful open-air courtyards in the center. They're usually decorated with beautiful mosaic and are hundreds of years old. These buildings are usually located inside the dense cities, so there are almost no windows viewing out. I would also try to visit a kasbah. It is similar to a riad, but in the middle of nowhere, usually in the middle of the desert. They are equally as beautiful. There's nothing like walking through the streets of a Medina, all this chaos going on, motorcycles passing by you, people passing by you, loud vendors, and you come up to your riad, they open a door for you, and it's just like this oasis away from the chaos. It's awesome. The other thing is, it's usually much cheaper than staying at a hotel, so it's a win-win situation. My next tip is to glamp in the desert, and that's right, I said glamp, not camp, because you're really not camping. This is like some really nice tents that they set up for you. And this was probably the most amazing thing I did in Morocco. I loved my experience there. We stayed in the northern Sahara desert, a place called Marzouga. It was a great experience. Just for fun, we rode a camel part of the way there, and this place was just incredible. It was like visiting another world. It felt like we were on Mars or something. The amount of stars you see is incredible. We watched the moon rise from the top of a sand dune, which was so pretty. It was so dope because the moon was so bright that you could easily read a book outside. I mean, just wow. Also, these tents aren't your average camping tent that you would bring on a weekend. I said we were glamping. The tents have a full bed, a sofa, shower and bathroom inside with running water, obviously. The food they served was amazing, and at night they usually had a fire pit going. Man, thinking back, I wish I could have stayed one more night. There was absolutely something really special about this place. My next tip is to be aware. Now, Morocco is an amazing place and the people are incredible, but there were a few times where I found myself in some uncomfortable situations. For example, when I went to Fez, I got into this really awkward situation where I had just made eye contact with a guy and he thought that I was lost. And this is the thing, a lot of times in Morocco, you will find people that want to help you, but not necessarily just because they want to help you. It's because they're looking for you to give them a tip. So this one guy, because I made eye contact with him, came up to us and just started asking us, hey, where are you going? Are you guys hungry? Do you guys want me to take you to a place to eat? And for some reason, I just said, yeah, I'm hungry. We're going to go somewhere to eat. And he was just like, come with me. I'll take you somewhere. And I'm like, no, it's okay. Anyway, he took us on this really long walk. And sometimes we felt like, yo, what's going on here? and we finally made it to a restaurant that he took us to. The restaurant was fine, but all the food in Morocco was great. And I don't know, we just didn't feel good about that. And when we got there, he was kind of harassing us to give him a tip because, you know, he had walked us all this far. But in my mind, I'm like, dude, I didn't really ask you, and you were just helping me out. So just be careful with that, and just try to be focused on where you're going. Don't make too much eye contact with people. Also, when you're in Marrakesh, be very careful at Jamal Al Efna, and that's because everyone there is pretty much there to make some money. There are storytellers, people selling craft, and oftentimes if you take a picture of someone or something, you're gonna have someone coming up to you asking you for a tip just because they just so happen to be in your picture. So when you do take pictures, try to not make any one thing the primary focus unless you are about to, you know, give them a tip, or if you're gonna buy something from them. Just keep that in mind. All right, that is it. Those are my tips for Morocco. If you think I missed something important, put it in the comments section. Please hit the like and the subscribe button, and I'll catch you next time.